Good morning, teachers, students, and all my fellow friends. Today I will be telling you the story of Lady Godiva. The city of Coventry is one of the greatest industrial towns, famous for its production of cars, motorcycles, and also for its splendid cathedral. Coventry, also known as the fourth largest city in England, was ruled by an extremely powerful man named Leofric. Leofric lived in a magnificent castle with a huge retinue of guards and servants of all kinds. Even though most of Coventry's inhabitants were distressingly poor, Leofric still forced them to pay heavy taxes so that he could live in luxury at his castle. His wife, Lady Godiva, was very unhappy about this, but there was nothing she could do. One day, at the end of a month when Leofric had spent more than his usual quota on horses, wine, and meat, he decided to levy a further tax upon the suffering inhabitants of Coventry. When news came round to the ears of the people, they gathered in great crowds outside Leofric's castle to beg their lord not to impose this further heavy burden upon them. Lady Godiva, watching from a high window, could see the people down below, dressed in rags and pale and underfed. She could also see the guards brutally driving the people away and realized that her husband did not care one bit about what happened to the people of Coventry. She hurried down to where her husband was and burst into the room where he was consulting with his steward. "And what is the meaning of this, wife?" Leofric said angrily. "I must speak with you, my lord," Lady Godiva said. Leofric looked at his beautiful wife and relented slightly. "What is it?" he asked. "I have seen those wretched, miserable, starving people from my window, and I know that it will be impossible for them to raise new tax." Leofric stared at her, then smiled. "Pray return to your tapestry, good wife," he said. "These matters do not concern a woman." "But they are my concern," persisted Lady Godiva. "These ill-fed, ragged people are my fellow citizens, and I cannot help being touched by their wretched plight." "Enough, enough," said Leofric. "I am busy. Please leave us." Lady Godiva went down on her knees. "My dear lord and husband, I will do anything you ask if you release these people from this burdensome tax." Leofric was looking absent-mindedly at some documents spread out on the table, but at the word "anything," he turned around. "Did you say anything?" he asked. "Yes, my lord, anything." "Well," Leofric said, "if you ride naked throughout the streets of Coventry, I will not only repeal this tax, but also give 3 bags of gold to the poor." Lady Godiva looked startled, but said, "Very well, my lord." She then went to her room and penned a letter to the people of Coventry. "My dear citizens of Coventry, I know well that you are grieved by the news of the new tax which our Lord has set upon you. I am now happy to tell you that the tax will be repealed, provided I ride naked throughout the streets of Coventry. I have made this decision, for I am confident that you, kind people of Coventry, will respect my modesty. I therefore ask you, kind people, to remain indoors between the hours of 10 and 12, and also to keep your shutters closed." She then signed the letter simply, "Godiva," dispatched it with a herald, and ordered him to see that every man, woman, and child were to become aware of its contents. The next day, she ordered her white mare to be brought to the castle gates at 10 o'clock. Then, alone in her room, she undressed and let loose her magnificent long tresses to cover most of her body. She then went down to the gates and rode calmly throughout the city, and arrived back at the castle just before the church bells rang for midday. Lord Leofric was so full of admiration for his wife that he not only repealed the tax and gave 3 bags of gold to the poor, but also made up his mind to treat his citizens well. That's the end of my story. Thank you.